yeah, at this point, I think only a Gen Zer would be on my side with this. This video does contain talk about abuse in all forms using the correct terminology. Please take care of yourself. I also express unpopular opinions, and by no means am I calling any specific people out. Hello and welcome to today's rant video. Honestly, it's going to be a rant. If you like Labyrinth, the movie, to the point where you will argue with me about it, you might not want to watch this video. Just putting that out there. This is your warning. I have warned you. I am not gonna be kind about this movie, okay? This is a rant video, a proper rant video. It's not going to be calm by any stretch of the imagination, because at this point, this is just me being able to dump my thoughts in a safe way and then move on with my day, because I'm not going to get nothing done until I rant this out, okay? So, number one. No, we're not doing number one because I haven't planned this enough to know what's number one and what's not. So, okay, things that I liked. Let's start with that. Things that I liked. Love the music. Music is my jam right there. Okay, and the little characters in the maze, love them all, and they kept me watching the movie. Okay, I did have to stop. I was watching this with my community in Hermieville, and I did have to stop commenting. The young girl Sarah is young, and therefore that's okay to be neglecting her baby brother and letting him scream. Not to mention, this is a movie, so how long was that baby left to scream while they got their shots? I probably don't realistically want to know this. And what mother and father lets their child be in this situation knowingly? And on top of that, in the movie, what parents let their young child babysit when they're so fucking neglectful? This makes me mad, okay? So mad. Okay, so that's not even the worst. Well, yes, it is the worst of it. Is it the worst of it? I don't know. It may get worse. Okay, so for a while now, after that, I'm kind of okay. Once the baby is with the Goblin King, spoilers, if you haven't watched Labyrinth, apparently I'm the only one on the planet who hadn't watched it. So yeah, so for a while after that, she's in the maze and everything, going to get him. Coming, learning her lessons along the way. That part of it I thought was done really well. Okay, I did think that the sarcasm and stuff, like teaching her to, think about other people and to not just think about herself, and all of them things, and not to assume that help is going to be there is another big one she got, and not to assume that everyone is there to help her. Right, okay, another one. So there's a lot of life lessons in there that if it was just that, I would think it was 5 stars. No problem, 5 stars. However, that wasn't the end of it. So yeah, my next biggest rant issue part of it is that this young girl who's allowed to neglect her baby brother because she's young is then lusted after by a grown man.
Shucks!
The rest of this video may contain fruity language. Viewer discretion is advised.
Who just goes around sticking his cock out for everyone to see. I mean, he might as well, okay? He might be wearing them tights, but why do you need to stand like that, Bowie? Why? Why do you need to push it out? We know you've got a cock, okay? We know. We don't need to see it. We don't. But, if it was just that, I would find it just funny. Because it is just funny on its own. But then he lusts after this teenage girl, this young girl, dresses her up, makes her look all pretty and adult, and sings a love song to her at the ball. Why is that okay? Why? Tell me this. In fact, don't tell me this because I know it's not okay. Yeah, at this point, I think only a Gen Z would be on my side with this at this point. If you look at the statistics of how many people in my age group were molested, abused, sexually and non-sexually, and look at what we were exposed to make us think it was okay and normal. This isn't just a movie. This is part of a bigger picture here. And that's why I'm so mad, because it isn't just a movie. It isn't forgivable, because if you look at the actual statistics, the actual experiences of people, this is how predators get you, because you think it's okay. You think it's okay as a 15-year-old to have a 27-year-old. I'm quoting ages that I've just had a discussion with Matt about, because this is how I ended up in the backseat of a car with a lifeguard from my local swimming baths. This is how. Because I thought it was glamorous, I thought it meant that I was growing up. No, it's abuse. It's predatory. It's not okay. And I hadn't even watched that movie, so there you go. There you go. So I guess that actually goes against my point, but were you just thinking that?
No.
You weren't? But it does. I didn't watch it, and this movie, my argument is that this movie is the problem. Okay, so let's clarify this.
You just got all your trauma from real life, whereas we just got it from films in the 80s, it turns out.
Well, no, but the thing is, you didn't just get it from movies in the 80s, because the thing is, this happened, the rates of abuse that are coming out now, because we didn't talk about it back then, because we thought it was okay, because everything around us told us it was okay. You know? That's my point. That's my problem with it. It's not just Labyrinth. It is so many movies. And I'm not saying I haven't watched a movie that has been problematic and still loved it. I think the reason why this has led to a rant is because of the reaction of other people to it. The active overlooking of these things because they enjoy it is disturbing to me in a way that I cannot make okay in my head. I cannot excuse it, because I see how this has played out in people's minds, and it makes me sad and it makes me mad. And yeah, I will pop in the description box evidence, stuff to back up what I'm saying here, because I don't believe in having an argument without having something to back it up. It is still my opinion based on these things, but I don't want anyone to think that I'm just talking shit for the sake of talking shit. So that's not how I roll, unfortunately, because it would be a lot easier if I could just talk shit. And I wouldn't have to back myself up. So there we go. If you did make it this far, let me know in the comments have you watched Labyrinth, what you think of it. Did you watch it back when it first came out? Are you someone who's a big fan of it? And if you would excuse these things, I don't need to talk to you, okay? But if you get where I'm coming from in any way, shape or form, I need to clarify something. I'm not a big fan of echo chambers. However, with this one, I need to be in an echo chamber because it's not mentally safe for me right now with this to have to talk to people that disagree just because they like it. That to me isn't, I can't do it. So if you do comment something that is not okay based on what I've just said, I will delete it. I don't normally do that, but I will in this instance. Because to me, it's detrimental to any victim of child abuse, of grooming, of anything like that. So I will make that choice to protect those people. Okay, thank you very much for being here today. I don't often do a proper rant. In fact, actually, have I ever properly done a rant video? I don't think I have. I've done silly ones, but not serious ones. Unless you count the Neil Gaiman one, but to me that was more of a video essay. So I'm not finished. I thought I was finished. I'm not finished. So I wanted to come back and just rant a little bit more at you. Hopefully this will be a little bit more organized, because I am talking to other people, I am researching, and I feel calmer. So although this is part 2 of the rant, it is a calmer, more rational, hopefully, part 2. I have been doing a little bit of research. Before, I was pulling from knowledge that I learned when I was at uni doing criminology. So it wasn't fresh in my head. And actually newer statistics talking about abuse from way back when has come out since I was at university, because I was at university like 20 years ago. So although it was still true, statistics now back me up even further, because if we look at okay, so I'm going to pull from the Office for National Statistics here. I will link it in the description box below, as I said I would. And this is a survey taken out in England and Wales for the year ending March 2016. And this is covering abuse during childhood. It includes all types of abuse in terms of psychological, physical and sexual, but it does separate them out. And it does look at men and women. It doesn't separate all genders though, and it doesn't have a section for people that are not male or female. So I'm going on the basis that they're looking at people's sex at birth rather than their gender, which is important to distinguish. Okay, so it says the survey showed that 9% of adults aged 16 to 59 had experienced psychological abuse, 7% physical abuse, 7% sexual abuse, and 8% witnessed domestic violence or abuse in the home. So that, you know, the percentages seem pretty low, but if you look at the actual numbers that this represents, so this equates to an estimated 567,000 adult women aged 16 to 59 having experienced this type of abuse during their childhood, compared with an estimated 102,000 adult men aged 16 to 59. So okay, sorry, I needed a second there. Okay, and then the other point that I want to pick out, obviously I'm linking it below so you can check it out for yourself, you can read it in more depth. I don't have the time here to be able to go further into this, but I also wanted to point out that in contrast, survivors of sexual assault by rape or penetration reported that the perpetrator was most likely to be a friend or acquaintance or other family member. For other types of sexual assault, the perpetrator was most likely to be a stranger. For sexual assault by rape or penetration, male victims were more likely than females. That's with the percentages of 15% male, 4% female, to report that they had been abused by a person in a position of trust or authority, such as a teacher, doctor, carer, or youth worker. Or Goblin King. So for me, okay, so let's go back to the movie. Let's go back to Labyrinth. It's probably going to seem like I think that everyone should hate the movie. I do not. I 100%, and I think I've already mentioned some of the things that I liked about it. I think that there are a lot of good qualities about this movie. However, if we are to love the lessons that Sarah learns in the maze, we have to also be able to accept that there's not good stuff happening in this movie too. We can't to ignore the bad stuff because we like the good stuff is like saying Sarah goes through that whole maze and then at the end says, nah, screw the lessons, it was nicer before I learnt them. What's the point in moving society forward if we're still just going to ignore the bad stuff? I'm not saying don't like the movie. What I'm saying is be realistic about it. I feel like we shouldn't be sitting in our bubble of the 80s. Like, I get that simpler times and all of that. It wasn't simpler, it was just blinkered. Take them blinkers off. We can still enjoy it and also call out the negative, because that is the only way our younger people can see that we've learned, can see that we will protect them now, because we have learned from the past. We are not going to be blinkered anymore, and we are going to do what is needed to protect them. Yeah, okay. Thank you for being here. Love you, bye.
Bye, love you.
It's going off.
I was just going off. Hermie was going off, man.
Excuse me.